Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Politics NY Meet the Candidates in 2022. I'm Jane Hanson, and I ask 3 questions in 3 minutes. And today, my guest is Ashmi Sheth, who is running for the congressional seat in the 12th district, which, well, this is all a conundrum because this is the district now. It was Carolyn Maloney's, but now it's also partially the district that Jerry Nadler had. And it's the middle of Manhattan from east to west versus being kind of vertical as it was before. We've got 2 titans running against each other. And now, Ashmi, you're getting into this mix as a 28-year-old. Why do you want to run in this?
Thanks, Jane, for having me. When I've gone on the ground every day for the last 14 months, I've seen a need for change. And when I personally door knocked just to get on the ballot, 13,000 doors, we started with public housing. We started with the community that I grew up with, the community of low income working class folks who need a better future in New York. We're getting priced out. We're experiencing a housing crisis, a food crisis, an education crisis. I remember while I was campaigning at the height of COVID, waiting in the food pantry line and meeting hundreds of folks who just needed to get food on the table. So it's essential that we have new leaders that are running in New York that genuinely are experiencing the brunt of what the city has, along with wishing to stay here and improve it and make it better for the next 30 years. And so that's really my vision, is to bring people together, write policy together. We've had over 15,000 folks help us with this from New York alone.
You quit your job at the Federal Reserve, what, about 1.5 years ago to actually start campaigning. Back then, you didn't know that redistricting was going to cause this kind of candidates that you would encounter. You could be in the 10th district, which is kind of wide open. Why choose this one?
This is my home. I mean, this is where I've lived my adult life, and this is where we've door knocked and really built a base of people who understand the importance of new leadership. And I think it's really necessary for us to think about, why are 2 titans running against each other? They've had so many decades to build power, to do what they need to, but we need to have a modern vision of what policy can look like. I mean, I mentioned that we have thousands of people help us write our policy on menstrual equity, on survivor institutions, on climate resiliency and single-use plastic ban, on these issues that often don't get enough attention, such as disability rights as a person with a disability. So I think that's really necessary for us to move away from thinking about titans and think about the next generation and what our needs are, especially with the student debt crisis and a housing crisis and an affordability crisis.
Your parents came to the United States from India with about $17 in their pocket, and here you are running for Congress. What can you tell us about yourself that we may not know growing up in that kind of a life?
Yeah, I mean, I think one fun fact that I have is I'm vegetarian. I have never had meat. This was a lifestyle. I speak Gujarati. I've learned many languages, and English was my second language. But I think the ability to lean on your neighbors was the biggest takeaway that I've had from my childhood, is when my neighbors would just take care of us for free after school. And it was having that kind of collective community of, we will take care of each other. And so how do we make politics a culture of care and remove the toxicity away from it, is something that has been my purpose my whole life, is to bring communities together, to advocate for our rights, especially as a woman, especially when we see a reproductive, health crisis that's happening in America right now. It's really important for us to have these new voices here in politics.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck on the campaign trail. I admire your bravery and tenacity.
Thank you. I gave up my job. I gave up income to do this, and it's really been so worth it to be able to make these sacrifices and meet people on the ground every day.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
thanks to all of you for watching us. I'll see you next time.